Good evening, everybody. My name is Lucille Sandoval again. So today we're gonna talk to you about the next activity of this class, which is it about investigating a topic that we didn't have any information about. So yeah, I decided to. I was seeing this movie the last days, which called Anastasia, which is a movie pretty interesting. It's based off the story of the Romanov family in Russia. That many, as you may know, they died because of like a tradition. They betrayed the family. But let me tell you the story about it. If you like to listen to it, is follow me in the next 2 minutes. So we're talking about. So yeah, so the final descendants of the Romanov family was led by Nicholas the second, which was the son of Alexander the third, which was a pretty strong and a pretty firm person that they don't like the methodology or the ideas that his father had. So his father, Alexander II, was developing a dogma, which is like when they take, for example, the kings, like the Tsar, they didn't have like any kind of power. They only like be pretty people in front of cameras. They only follow like a protocol, just like the the queen in England, in which she doesn't have any kind of decision in the country politics criteria. So he only is like a public figure over there. It's like influencer nowadays. So yeah, so it was pretty interesting because the Nikola Romanov was one of the worst leaders of Russia during that day. Even though the Russian people didn't like it, the family, because he was like a pretty mediocre governor. He even, for example, during 1905, some of the Russian citizens were like making all kind of movements during there, but there was a pretty sad day, which is called the Bloody Sunday, in which the Russian army decided to kill a lot of people that were present in the movement. That's why they call him Nicholas the Bloody, because he killed a lot of people. Even though he wasn't the one in charge of that order, because he was in like a retirement house with their family. He had like a lot of kids. He have like 4 girls and 1 boy, because as you may know, like the in order to have the Tsar title, you need to be a male one. You cannot be a girl. So that's why the first one of the girls they had was Olga Romanov. There was Tatiana, Maria, and Anastasia, and last the family was pretty desperate. They wanted like a kid in their family, so they had a kid, which was Alexei. Alexei was a pretty sick boy. He didn't have like the he had like a sickness which was make their bones pretty fragile. For example, if they make like a cut, they could have a he could lose a lot of blood because their body didn't uh, created some kind of protection which helped the body to don't lose a lot of blood when you're bleeding. So yeah, it was pretty sad for this kind of family. It was until 1997 and 1917 in which Nicholas resigned being the president, the Tsar of Russia. He started being like I don't know, like a man during jail because their family was like being in under the Russian government. It was pretty strange, this story of this family. Even though, for example, they were like pretty religious people. They even have like a monk, which is Rasputin, in which they say that the Rasputin was a pretty amazing man because he was like washing the mind of the Tsars during that time, because they thought that the Rasputin could help his son, which was pretty sick all the time. So yeah, that's pretty was such a shame. It was until 1917 in which Nicholas Romanov resigned. He started living in all kind of places. the last home of them, it was during the city of Ekaterinburg, in which they were like waking up in 1980. They were waking up like in 2 o'clock of a.m. because they were checking to the basement of the castle, and there was entering a lot of people of the Russian army, and they start shooting their the royal family. So that was the end of the Romanov dynasty. It was pretty a shame what happened to them, because in the end they were like such a nice people, because they, for example, they have like a lot of people they eat it with the for example, with the maestresses, with the people in charge of the castles. They were such a nice people. Even though they had to change a lot of personnel, a lot of workers, because they get attached to the royal family. So yeah, so that was my activity number 14, I think so, about the Romanov family. Hope you like it. It was such a blast for me to look a little bit down this history of the Romanov family. So see you next time. Bye bye.